Hi, it's Joe, and thank you for watching A Murder at the End of the World, Season 1, Episode 2, The Silver Doe. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, get it 1 week in advance, and I am excited to see what happens next. The Silver Doe makes me think potentially we're going to learn more about what happened in the Silver Doe case, and yeah, what happened at the end of the last episode. I'm stressed. Let's go.
Bill Farah's room, room 11. Can you do that?
She thinks quick on her feet.
Alright, sit tight.
You'd bring her to crime scenes. I guess we didn't have any other childcare. Did no other police officer send her back to her car? Why is he just smiling at her? To be a murder at the end of the world.
I'm just speaking. Do you have any knowledge of what just happened here?
I try to get help.
You realize this is a private
He's
matter.
my friend. He's my friend. Stay with him. He doesn't like to be alone.
I won't be.
Sorry, whenever people say that, it gets me. Someone should be asking her what she saw, making a note of it. No one took a statement from her. For one thing, she could have killed him, given him an overdose or something, and they just let go away with it. Like, we know she didn't. So many unresolved feelings, and then the fact that he died. He doesn't get to live a life. Will pills cloud her memory at all? I know they're just, I guess, sleeping pills, but I don't trust anyone at this place, apart from Darby. Can be as knowledgeable about murders and deaths and what causes them and what signs to look for and when it shocks and happens to you. Is this the Silver Doe?
Strange that these are the only things with her body.
Girls wear earrings. Bag 'em, keep 'em with the body.
Aren't police wonderful?
Maybe it was fast.
Is it ever
What?
fast enough?
Don't.
I mean, she knew.
It's not professional.
It's your daughter, it's a child. You brought her to
Just how I
multiple
think.
crime scenes.
What if they...
No ID, no case. In the box.
Okay.
No ID, no case? There's still a case. There's a dead person who's been murdered and covered up. I mean, I know there's very, very limited stuff to go on, but there should still be a case. Someone do some basic research into what this land was used. Is there any tracking of who came and went? Even if they immediately then say no. Oh, the Jane and John Does. Yeah, I guess if the case wasn't going to be solved, no one else was ever going to find them, but... Jane Doe's across the Midwest, yet the serial killer leaves the earrings there intentionally. Is that Billy? She's the beginning. I mean, she's always been like this, always been working her mind on the cases, considering what's happening, but... Creepy. Don't accept random men. Random invites to video calls. I mean, okay. I would still be so concerned this was a killer. Tracking the kills.
What have you heard?
What was the age difference? So that was the beginning of their relationship that has now ended, or will hopefully fully end with her solving his murder. Or realizing there wasn't one.
I'm so sorry.
See, I have this like weird conspiracy theory that Lee knew something was gonna go down here, and so she hired a... well, she didn't hire. She invited a murder expert. Like, is he just having an extreme reaction because it's so terribly sad that anybody died, especially someone young? Or does he know him?
You mean
Or know what caused
to
the death?
investigate?
Yes, an investigation.
Which will undoubtedly confirm the cause of death.
Oh, he's very controlling.
I think then we'd be quitters, and I don't want to be that, and I don't think Bill would want us to be that.
He is so controlling, and Lee does not seem like the
What do you suggest
woman
we do? That we just
that
go
Darby
home to our
talked about in
beds,
the
we pull the
previous
covers
season.
over our heads, given everything, but we don't give up. We don't quit. I will, of course, make arrangements.
The level of self-importance this man feels.
But
Me too.
Oh, she can't meet her eyes. There's such a weird vibe here. How do you even begin? Because she'll be at war with herself now. Like, was it just an overdose? Was it an accidental overdose? Was it an intentional overdose? Was it...
Do right-handed people usually inject themselves into their right arm?
Rarely, if ever. The non-dominant arm is the injection site at a rate
Yeah.
of 98%.
It was in his right arm, right? The only site? He was murdered.
Someone killed him.
And there are limited people here. I mean, someone I suppose could have snuck in and snuck out again, but yeah. She knows more than she's letting on, or suspects, at the very least, more than she's letting on. Was he helping her uncover some information on her husband or something? I don't know. Did he have something that's been taken that she's concerned about him? I'm just so intrigued.
To share with you all the first few minutes of my new
He's really shaken. Did he know
and
him?
enjoy the
Are you saying you think that Bill...
I'm saying he didn't inject himself.
Yep. And you know what that means. They'd have to have, like, subdued him or surprised him or something.
An overdose seems strange. I was looking for science.
I could buy that. I'm sure there's more to it, but I could buy that for now.
We find a living Jane. A woman who fought him off and lived to tell.
Interesting.
There must be thousands of reports like that. The millions.
Yeah, but we just need one that mentions silver jewelry.
Okay, guys. 5 minutes on the quiz, then phones down.
Like they compel me to get them what they want.
You don't think you're psychic, do you? You're just very, very intelligent and good at spotting signs. I saw the words earlobe. So he pierced her ears and he does it before he kills them. Fuck. Editing Joy here later that night, and I looked and I read the Jane Doe, not Jane Doe, the Marta, whatever her name is, the woman's statement. While I was editing, I paused it and I read the statement, and he did not pierce her ears. He ripped her earrings out, her big silver earrings. So that would suggest that he takes earrings from women, from one victim, and gives them to the next victim as like a, instead he doesn't keep them as mementos or put his own earrings on to like mark or claim the women. He sort of takes from one and gives to the other as part of something or other. I have no idea what that means, but yes, I noticed that you did not pierce her ears. They were pierced already.
It's 3 a.m.
Yeah, please just take a look.
She's so, when she's on it, when she's switched on to doing this case, she cannot switch it off again. I mean, you could have met up with a serial killer online. And he's been grooming you for months, okay? This is concerning.
Train tracks. Bill?
Like, he could be about to murder
Well?
you.
Happy birthday. Darby.
Who in the hell is Darby?
She's crafting away. And then she left. She didn't go in. Was she the one that was obsessed with him? Someone dodged the camera. It picked up lights and movement. No one there. They ducked under the camera rolls, went to the side of it or something. Oh, that made me jump so bad. Oh, I don't like that. Why is there a creepy mask killer? Why is it just an ordinary person killer? Why is it a creepy mask killer? What the actual fuck? The police actually, I mean, I guess no rich man says, no crime here. Police say, okay, wherever you are in the world. I don't like that it was a masked person. I just thought someone was kind of like ducked under the camera or something. I don't know how possible that is, but not like someone put on a whole elaborate mask get up. There didn't seem to be any obvious like bruises or anything, like anyone held him down to inject him, so I'm... Who knows how it all went. Ray's tavern, is the Ray significant? I still have red flags about the age difference between them. But I don't know, maybe she's like 18 and he's 19. So we're still not much closer to any answers, but we have confirmation that, I mean, we don't have like 100%. We have like 99% confirmation that it was murder. The track mark was in, or the injection mark was in the wrong arm, and there were no fingerprints on the morphine site, and just the shady way everything's being hushed up. Now, I feel like there is some big conspiracy at play with the husband. Lee doesn't seem to be the kind of fierce, outspoken woman that was described as that. Now that when she was a hacker, now that could simply be she has grown up, she is matured, she has a kid, she can't afford to be running around being reckless because she's got a kid. Like, that could be that. But I definitely feel like there are some not great vibes between her and her husband. He's very, I say this, right, honey? Like, I just don't like her husband. Now, it would be a very good kind of twist if they actually turned out to have a marriage that was quite happy and he's not awful, because we're all expecting him to be awful. But there's definitely something going on, and it could be as simple as he doesn't want his image taken down by being associated with somebody dying at his retreat or overdose or otherwise, that he's going to cover this up whether it was a murder or not, because he just doesn't want the bad press, any press regarding it. I could see it being that, and he won't have anything to do with the murder, but I definitely think he's involved. Or at the very least, Lee knows something. And, you know, in the previous episode, there were lots of discussions of why Darby was here. She doesn't seem to be, she's not from the same kind of circles they are. Like, yes, she's had a very successful book published, but she's had one successful book published. It's not like she's kind of made quite the same waves as the others. So it would seem that maybe she was hired to investigate shit. Lee was very quick to be like, oh, okay, you're in on it, right? Go hack that thing for me, great. You know, Lee was very quick to give her leads and help her out in the case. Like, maybe she suspected something like this would happen, and maybe she didn't think he would be the one to die. Maybe she thought she was going to die, or who knows. Now, the fact that the killer put on some creepy mask, I didn't see that coming, and I didn't like it. But I mean, obviously we knew someone was intending to cover it up, but there is evidence of a killer. There isn't necessarily evidence of who the killer was. Now, is it going to be the hotel concierge dude? Because he emerged from like some cupboard place near room 11 right before it happened. Like, was he changing out of his evil mask? I have no clues. But one thing I love in this kind of show is watching Darby or her similar characters, how her mind works, and hearing how, you know, I don't think she's got any psychic connection to the dead, but I think she's obviously very intelligent and very good at picking up on the clues and everything in that way that Sherlock Holmesian characters and real life people, I'm sure, are. And she's also very empathetic. She's able to kind of get into the mind of what was the person going through, and that, you know, is a very dark place to go. Like, if when you start thinking about like what the person was feeling while you don't want to get there. I think they did a very good job of showing the immediate aftermath of it, how panic overrode her brain. She was just panicked, she was terrified, she was grieving, and she let them bust her out of the room. I think in any other circumstance, she would have been like, no, I'm staying, I'm investigating this. He was my friend, I'm looking into this. She wouldn't have been as quick to let them just put her to bed. But she just watched someone she cared about die in front of her. Whatever they'd been through, whatever happened with him leaving, she just watched him die and watched how scared he was, and couldn't help him. And so she just was in shock, and they were able to get her out of the room, convince her to take sleeping pills, and put us out of the equation until morning, until they'd covered everything up. Now she is obviously still investigating. The thing is still, when they were initially being all chatty at breakfast, I really thought that they were just acting like nothing had gone wrong, but then it was like, oh, they don't know yet. And of course, this thing is so important. They're going to save the world. There's 12 people. They're saving the whole planet. How self-important do you have to be? But somebody here killed him, and we need to figure out more about who these characters are, what they're up to. how many of them knew him, how many of them could have a motive, could he have a motive to have done something that they, like, maybe he had some information on Andy and Andy would be like, hey, I have blackmail on you, other person, go and kill him. There are so many scenarios we could see. I love the flashbacks to younger Darby, to seeing how she met Bill, how they got to know each other. I still am concerned with how old he is, and I don't know, because obviously she is not high school age, so she is an older actress playing someone in high school. He could be supposed to be a similar age because they've cast them for them in the present, not in the past. Like, I just don't know how old he is, and I feel like there are some weird red flags with meeting a man online and just going to the strange dark tunnel train alleyway he tells you to go to. But I love seeing kind of the beginning of it and how they cracked the case and how dedicated she is, and also how she was far more committed than he was, and you could see why that, especially on top of a near-death experience, would scare him. I'm very intrigued with finding out how they escaped with their lives from the basement as well. Fantastic start to this show. The mystery is just, I just want to know more. Reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. Thank you so much for watching.